Good morning. Welcome in to twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads. My name is Graham Day. And I don't know why I'm speaking like this, but occasionally I do that. I apologise. Anyway, welcome into twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads for the first time in what feels like a bajillion years. Even though I think we did it on the Friday just before you went off, so it's only like 8 days-ish ago or whatever. I don't know, but it makes it about 10 days ago, actually. But still, for the first time in what feels like a bajillion years, myself and the Bib Man are back with another episode of The Scoop. I'll read, Bib.
Hello, Graham.
Did you have a spectacular week off?
I did, but as with every single break, holiday, staycation, whatever you want to call it, you feel like you need another one to get over the one that you've just been on. So if I had another week off, that I genuinely wouldn't have had to leave the house for anything. That would be very much appreciated. But as it stands, our week in real was pretty damn fantastic, considering it was meant to be pissing it down the entire time, and it shit it down for 15 minutes the entire time we was there.
So
big massive dubs for
the
that.
weather in general was really good.
Really good. Yes.
I know you used that before you went away, but still, I'm using it again. Yeah, let's go. Anyway,
I've kind of slipped into the dad jokes now. Like I think I've just had to fully embrace it. I've been driving Samantha wild with them this week.
See the thing about dad jokes is that you get like pushed into them genetically. It's a scientific fact that your DNA makeup changes after you become a dad, and that you become more open and responsive and deliver more dad jokes. It's a scientific fact. Don't look up the science on that, by the way. It's just fact. Just take it as is.
Yeah.
It's not fake news whatsoever. But also the fact that happens once you hit, I don't know, I used to think it was like late 30s, but it's not. It's not even that. It's like late 20s. People try to fight it, though. Once people hit like 25, 6, 7, 8, they start to go, oh, dad jokes. But then will 5 minutes later drop their own dad joke. Tell you who's really good at this, and he hit his late 20s about 75 years ago. It's Tito. Tito is the first person to do like a, but then we'll just be like, pow! Absolute drop his own A-bombs or D-bombs, a dad joke. Let's go. So yeah, Tito, I see you in the chat. Hey. But anyway, speaking of seeing people in the chats, how you doing? Hey, just jumped into the split screen. Welcome in, Lake, who was in nice and early, says burp. Burp. Okay, fine. Burp. It's fine. Burp.
Burp.
JMK says exclamation mark time. It was 11:36 when you did that, which was 10 minutes ago. And 11:36, as chat has had it confirmed, is basically 10 a.m.-ish, which is exactly where we meant to be. Good morning, JMK. Tito says, good morning, all you sexy peeps, Angie. So therefore, he doesn't say I'm sexy. He says I'm above sexy. Nice.
Elitism.
I think we've covered everyone off in the chat. If I've missed you, do feel free to say hello again. Welcome in twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads. Yes, we are both here. Yes, this is me, the G. I'm joined by the baby. I'm not meaning to freestyle rap then. It's just the way that it came out. I apologise. But we are Ice Cream Uploads, and true ice creamy fashion. This is The Scoop, the UK's #1 video game podcast, if we do say so ourselves. We go live on twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads each and every single weekday, usually, at 10 a.m. Ish. I went ish and then just slapped the control button off my keyboard. Nice. Didn't want it anyway. Get out of here. So yeah, we go live on twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads at 10 a.m. ish each and every single weekday. So if you're in the stream, please do feel free to get involved. I see a few of you. I mean, it's what I meant to say, but it didn't sound right. A few of you are already getting involved, so we appreciate that. And it's important that everyone else does get involved too, because we are live on Twitch, but the live stream gets turned into a podcast, a video on YouTube, and an audio podcast on iTunes and Spotify and SoundCloud and Google Play. There is lots of places where over 130,000 people have watched this show and listened to this show and downloaded this show and streamed this show on demand, so please do feel free to get involved on behalf of those people. Before we jump into the news, though, we have a few stories to go over today. Before we jump into the news, a couple of reminders. First of all, exclamation mark loot drop. You have about 3 hours and, you have 3 hours and 13 minutes to get involved. At 3 p.m. on a Monday, the first Monday of the month, we export a list of everyone that is a subscriber to us on Twitch. Anyone that is a sub at that point has their name thrown into a hat to win a prize. Hat being an operative word, as that's what this month's prize is. An Ice Cream Uploads blackout baseball cap. We will be giving one of those away. So if you have a Prime, maybe you want to sub to the channel, you've been thinking about it, make sure you be a sub before 3 p.m. today, because you will be in the draw to win one of these. This is the Blackout Baseball Cap. Nice. You can get Curved Peak if you're an absolute hero. If you are a little bit of a degenerate reprobate, then you can get yourself a Flat Peak too. I mean, we cater to everybody. Even flat peakers. You know, it is what it is. Sorry. So yeah, do feel free to get involved in that before 3 p.m. today. We will draw the loot drop draw, if that's the right phrase. Nice. We'll do that anyway, and we will drop it into the Discord to let you guys know who wins. If we don't get time to do it in the Discord today, then we'll probably do it on the scoop tomorrow anyway. So you'll find out within the next 24 hours who bags this month's loot drop prize. Do you know what? If we get them in time, we'll throw in a subathon supporter tee as well, because we have a few of those spare. So we'll have an Ice Cream Uploads baseball cap and a subathon supporter tee. They may be in the office already. We'll find that out. Neither of us are actually in the office today, so we'll find that out tomorrow, whether they have actually arrived. So yes, an Ice Cream Uploads baseball cap and a subathon supporter tee. Just a obviously friendly reminder that we usually have about anywhere between 80 to 120 people in the loot drop. This month, there is currently 418 people in the loot drop. So your chances of winning are quite small. But do you know what? That's because you're all wonderful people and you helped support us with !Subathon. In just over a month, about a month and a week, we will have an event at the ICU studio where we invite people in. If you guys want to drop in, see us, maybe jump on the stream with us, eat some food, grab a few drinks or something, that will be at our studio, August the 13th, at the Jelly Media office in Port-on-the-File, Blackpool. We will be putting some information on that into the Discord this week. As well as that, something that we will announce next week. I'm obviously not going to say what it is because we'd announce it now if that's the case, but we have something pretty exciting happening this month. Possibly the biggest thing that we have ever done on this channel. And we've done some pretty exciting things on this channel. Yeah. The biggest thing that we have ever done. What the fuck? I just grabbed all of them off. What the fuck? There was a bit of fluff on my desk and I went to move it and then it flew away. Shit my pants. So yes, next week we will be announcing something that is pretty spicy. The biggest thing that we have ever done on this channel. So keep your eyes out for that. It should hopefully be good. It should be some nice content that you guys can enjoy, so keep your eyes out for that. Zag, welcome in, dude. How are we doing? Good morning. It's the first time you've spoken in our chat. How dare you? How very dare you? On my way. On my way. Good morning, Neil. I'll read. How are we doing? Okay, let's jump back. Some of your intro clips are really old, says JMK. Look at the difference in the rooms that you are and Bibi, that you and Bibi were in compared to now. Well, this is it. This is growth. We've spent a lot of time developing our setups, changing things from cameras to microphones to, in Bibi's case, the entire house that he started streaming in as well. So I mean, it went from
your subs.
Yeah, absolutely. Bibi's mansion. He moved out of the manor house into Casa de la Bib. Next week he's moving to his own island, so it's fine.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I mean, and that's the thing though. The thing is with our home setups as well, this isn't even funded by you guys either. So we always say all the money that we get goes back into the channel, and it does. And you can see that with the actual studio that we stream from. But our own setups, that's just us trying to improve our game for you because we enjoy this shit, and we enjoy the fact that you turn up to see us do this shit. So we appreciate it. So thank you very much for noticing that. Return of the Bibbit, back to the Bibbit, nice. Shit, is there not like 8 bajillion people in the loot drop? Yes, 418 different people right now. Same, but different, but still same. Love that shirt, G. This, by the way, is an insert coin shirt. Gifted sub. Neil, dropping one. He's just dropped one on Zag. Nice. Zag, enjoy access. I know a few people like that gaming nacho. Bit of an oddbod, you know, bit weird. Nice, like we're nice. We're like Nacho. Apart from he is very much a compulsive liar because he says he has the best emotes on Twitch, and that is not true. His emotes are shit hot, but factually, ours are the best emotes on Twitch. Yeah, I mean, look at this. Let me show you something. Like, look at this emote. Is our love heart emote. Nacho was pointing this out the other day. Look how good our love heart emote is, and then Look at how bad Nachos is. Look at that completely different emotes. God, there's just absolutely no similarities whatsoever. Basically, Nacho has a beautiful emotes too. There you go. Nice. Look at that. Like almost pixel for pixel perfect. You'll love to see it. Anyway. So yes, Zag, enjoy the best emotes on Twitch. Nacho might tell you his are better, but that's not true. We like Nacho. Hey, if you listen to this, Nacho. Hey, how you doing? Hey. Anyway, so yes, loot drop today will take place at 3 p.m. So you need to be a sub to the channel. Now, Zag is in, so it doesn't matter if you paid for the sub or if someone else has paid for it for you. Anyone that is a sub will be included in the loot drop. That's tier 1s, 2s, 3s, primes, or gifted subs. So yeah, anyone. In nice, in before Zag wins. Imagine that, the last person in to just be like, yeah. I'll take that. Thank you. For today, though, a couple of things. We're going to talk about a few different stories today. Do you know that PS5 that you've got, and you think, do you know what? It's a nice enough console, but I wish I could use my my DualShock 3 from my PS3 console. Well, facts, you can do. As Sony patents suggest that PS3 era peripheral compatibility could be coming to the PS5. The PSP Go, which was the tiny little sort of like almost smartphone-esque version of the PSP, the iToy, the DualShock 3 all feature in the new filing. So you might be able to use those peripherals on the PS5, which is bizarre because I have a scuff PS4 controller here that I can't use on the PS5. I could use it on PS4 games on the PS5, but yeah, Curve Peak is better, by the way, just checking. David has just seen the poll in the chat. 55% of people say Curve Peak is better, so it was close. But you know, it's closer than the EU referendum that saw us get out of Europe. So it's further, should I say, than that. So yeah, there you go. Nice. After PS3 to PS5 peripherals, we'll then talk about Twitch streamers. Do you know you stream on Twitch? And you know the fact that you're a huge streamer on Twitch. You're a massive streamer. Therefore, you attract lots of good people, but also lots of dickheads. Well, good news, you can get rid of the dickheads a little bit easier, as Twitch streamers may soon be able to share ban lists with other channels, which is a possible next step for chat moderation. We'll go through that. Then we'll start talking about interesting things. There was something shared on !Discord. That is the link through to our Discord channel. A couple of weeks ago, I think it was either when I was off or when I had COVID, there was an article. I'm not sure if you covered it. You might have covered it, babe. It was the Fallout mod, the Fallout London mod.
I did cover it, yeah.
Nice. So there was a mod for Fallout, which basically put Fallout in London, which was obviously an aftermarket mod. It was done by people not employed by Bethesda. Anyway, two of those people now are employed by Bethesda, or at least they've been offered jobs. We'll then jump into people being offered jobs, or at least hiring for jobs for the next Battlefield campaign. And then we'll talk about Phantasy Star on 2 Online, coming to PS4 10 years after its initial launch. So a wide variety of news stories there. Do feel free to grab yourself a seat, stick around, grab yourself a beverage, and we'll jump into all of those stories. United emotes now gone down in my estimations. Who do you support, Zag? It's not Sita, is it? Because we do have some of those emotes as well. Speaking of which, on that, subathon. There we go. A quick reminder on the subject of emotes that Spiffy Domino, Naked Neil, Nietzscheo, Lumps, Beans TV, and Bullybuster are all having emotes made up for our channel over the next few months. That is something that, obviously, we could throw it out and just make you some really shit emotes, but we like our emotes to be decent. The only thing is, our emotes are decent because we have a really good design team, but the downside of having a really good design team is that other people want to use them. So we have a bunch of paid work that we have to get out of the way, but you guys have all earned the chance to have your own personalized emotes on the channel for a month. So we will start rolling those out as soon as we have some design capacity to get our designers to put some emotes together. So yeah, we may ask you for input on that. We may just go wild and do something in honor of you. We'll see. So just a reminder that we do have a bunch of emotes coming for that. We also have more spaces for emotes because we got to fucking 400 subs on the channel. So yeah, we'll probably be able to throw most, if not all of those on at the same time, or we'll do them in 2 batches. But yeah. I bought the poll. Ooh, nice. I didn't even realize you could do that. But it's facts, though, by the way. Neil with the Xbox boss. See that? Nailed it. Absolute first try. We've got an Xbox boss emote, and I can say it now. It's like I feel like it's my badge of honor. It's been that long since I've absolutely cocked it up. So yeah. No, don't get rid of me. I'm confused. Why are we getting rid of you? Shouldn't have dissed the curve peak. Oh, is that us? Is that his? Oh, we're banning people with curve peaks. Is that what it is? Is that what it is? Wasted a quality dad joke and my points. I missed it. Okay, I don't know what we're talking about. Oh, you see getting rid of the dickheads. Ah, okay. There we go. You see, this is the thing. I say stuff and my brain just throws the words out. It doesn't necessarily remember what words I threw out in what order. So sometimes you just have to throw it back at me. Anyway, for now, though, Mr. Bibb.
Yes.
You are a guy that likes old school tech. Retro consoles, jumping back to the past, picking up some of the best games from previous generations. What about previous hardware? Does that float your boat?
It does float my boat, Graham. I have all of my old hardware still knocking around in this house somewhere.
Well, good news! Because you can use all of that to play on your PS5. Let's go!
Yay!
Jordan Midler at VGC has this article. It says Sony patents suggest PS3 era peripheral compatibility could come to PS5. So the PSP Go, the iToy, and the DualShock 3 all feature in the new filing. Jumping into the article, then it says a new patent has suggested Sony may be attempting to make old hardware, such as peripherals or handhelds, compatible with modern PlayStation consoles. The patent spotted by Game Rant seems to show old Sony hardware, such as old media remotes, DualShock controllers, and even a handheld console likely to be the PSP Go, being used via emulation with a PS5. The image, which can be seen below, there you go, on screens, shows a DualShock, a Sony media remote, what appears to be a PlayStation mouse, an iToy, a PlayStation Move wand, and a memory card. And much of this tech has long been discarded by Sony, with the most modern of the bunch being the PlayStation Move wand, which is still used to control the first iteration of the PSVR. What makes the patent even more interesting is the peripherals mainly appear to be from the PS3 era, which could suggest that this is part of Sony's reported effort to emulate the system, which has been relegated to streaming only as part of Sony's recent PlayStation Plus rebrand. While it's possible to imagine that Sony is exploring how to make this older tech work through emulation, due to none of the equipment aside from the PS Move ones currently being available for purchase, it may simply be a process for emulating the functionality of these items in software rather than compatibility with the PS5. Sony's new PS Plus offering, okay, we can stop talking about that. We don't want to go about the offering. We want to keep on the subject, which is the fact that all these bits of peripherals that you can see down the side of the image here are potentially, at least if only through software, potentially going to be working with the PS5. Bib, what are your thoughts?
Yes. Well, are we going to see something like this, the PlayStation Vita being able to be compatible with the PlayStation 5, Graham? Like, I don't think it's a coincidence that all of these peripherals and stuff are starting to come about again now because of the new tiered systems that they've got with the PlayStation Plus, with the Essential, Premium, and Essential, Premium, and Plus, is it? Those three categories, I can't remember all three of them.
I think it's Essential, Extra, and then Premium.
That's it, extra, yeah, rather than plus, it's extra. Yep, confirmed. Correct. But yeah, I don't think it's a coincidence that all of these different peripherals might be available to be compatible with your PlayStation 5 moving forward, as they have a load of old PlayStation 1, 2, and 3 games included in those tiers. So yeah, I mean, it would be mega if we could play the likes of the PlayStation Vita games, because there was some absolute blinders on there. It's just, how will that work? Because they had the PlayStation TV way back when, where you could put your Vita cards into the back of it and then play it on your screen, but a lot of them wasn't playable unless you soft modded it, because you had to, like, on Golden Abyss, for instance, or Uncharted, there was a load of bits where you had to rub your screen to unveil some parts of the map, or if you pick some different files up, you had to scribble on them or something like that. I can't quite remember, but obviously there was a lot of things like Tearaway. How the hell would you play that on your TV? Because it was basically all motion controlled with the back of the Vita controller. Touchpad.
They actually re-released Tearaway for consoles. I don't know if that one was Tearaway Unfolded. So they had Tearaway,
yeah,
and then there was a Tearaway Unfolded. But they also, if that's not the console one, they did port it to consoles, but I didn't
Hmm.
actually see how they got around that sort of stuff. Because,
Yeah.
like I've said a million times before on this show, Tearaway is one of my favorite Vita games ever because it actually used the facilities and functions that were there.
Yeah.
But yeah, you were saying,
So,
sorry.
yeah, it doesn't surprise me that we're going to be getting a load of these peripherals compatible with your PlayStation 5. I'm very interested to see what kind of software updates will have to come over the internet for you to be able to use a lot of this stuff. Like the mouse, for instance, it'll just be a USB that you can plug into the front of it. I imagine not just you can use any mouse rather than just using the specific PlayStation mouse, but having light gun games and things like that being able to get put into
Literally,
having a massive difficulty nowadays on modern TVs. It's quite difficult.
just as you mentioned light gun, Zag, literally, it was like as soon as you said light gun, he wrote in the chat, I want to see them getting old light gun games back.
Yeah.
Have it so I can play Time Crisis on my PS2 using my normal TV, not having to buy an old tube TV.
Exactly. Yeah, having a big CRT isn't a viable option for most people. I would love one, basically because I'm a massive nerd and I still have all my old game consoles. Like having a CRT on here would be fantastic because I can play all of those games then without having to buy converters and things like that, which I have got for my PlayStation 2. I've got HDMI converters, so I can play them on the big screen. It doesn't look great, let's be honest. Like it's much better playing those games or you play PS2 games or any emulation games via your Xbox Series S. But make of that what you will. Better PlayStation, old PlayStation games run better and play better on your your Xbox Series S than they do on your PlayStation 5. But hey, that's just the kind of thing that we can have RetroArch on your Xbox Series S.
I
So
think I
yeah,
think that's probably the whole reason for this sort of article in that sort of sense, because we've had conversations. I think we probably had them on stream, but we definitely had them off stream about the fact that a lot of people that in particular have got Series X's because of what it unlocks in terms of that emulation
yeah,
potential, and that's not even like, obviously a lot of people will go, illegal hacking of games and stuff like that, but it's not even that. If you have a video game in one format that you don't have access to, you legally are allowed to stream that through an emulator. So say if you've
yeah.
got it, like that shelf Bib we just pointed to them behind him. Let's go into the big Bib cam. The shelf behind Bib with all his PS2, Xbox, and so on games. Like, say if he doesn't have a PS2 or he doesn't have the function to attach that to his PC, there you go, PS1 game. What we've got
I want to
there.
play Michael Owen's World League Soccer.
I mean, why would you?
I can rip this onto my PC.
I mean, you play it and I will rip it. Oh no, sorry, that's big to it.
It's a good game though. To be fair, I actually adored this when it came out. I played the ever loving shit out of it. I mean, it's no ISS, let's be honest, but yeah, it was a game for the time. I don't necessarily sure it would be for one now, but like you say, if I wanted to play PGA Tour '96, I rip this onto my PC, put it on the ISO onto my memory stick, and then I can play it on whatever I want. I own this game. I own not necessarily the copyright of it, but I'm allowed to do with it what I will because I actually own the game. So that's why emulation is thriving. Obviously, me, if I was to download any of them off the internet and then play them, that's a completely different story. But if I own the copy already, there's no implications with that.
I mean, yeah. So even downloading it and playing it, like if you own the original copy, is fine. You can play emulated copies if you own. So say if you downloaded a PS2 version of a PS1 version of MLS, WS, Michael Owen's crappy soccer game. If you download a PS1 version of that and play that through some form of emulator, the fact that you own the original disc is legit. Just a lot of people don't know that, by the way. That is something you can do. You can do that as long as you own the rights to it. I mean, obviously some people just go, yeah, of course I own the game. Of course I do.
Yeah, just get a picture of the internet and then Photoshop it into my hand.
Here it is. Nice. I own this. Great. Of course I do. So yeah, but you can do. Anyway, a little bit of a tangent. That came from Bibby mentioning, let the animation transition finish. There we go. That came from Bibby mentioning the Series S being a good console of choice to play PlayStation games because PlayStation's consoles are worse than the Xbox console for playing emulated PlayStation games. PlayStation has always been behind in the backwards compatibility race, which was understandable. Xbox made a decision to go after a niche, small, different market, which has then grown into quite a substantial market, but then also unlocks different potentials. There's always an angle of video game preservation, and PlayStation is always looked down on when it comes to this conversation, because Xbox has done a lot for video game preservation, and I think that is by proxy. They have done a lot for video game preservation because they were after capital. They were chasing profits, but in doing that, in opening up backwards compatibility, they have also unlocked a new story. The fact that they have the ability to go back and play Xbox 360 generation games, Xbox One generation games, and then all the way back to, well, Xbox One, Xbox 360, then all the way back to the original Xbox games on the Xbox Series consoles is video game preservation. Just because the systems are dead, in terms of functional bits of hardware, nobody's got them anymore. They're chunky, they use SCART cables, whatever. You can play them now through modern consoles. PlayStation didn't go after that bag because they didn't need it. They were massively outselling in every way, shape, or form. But because they haven't gone after that bag and they've not thought about that, they've not thought about future-proofing in the last generation, stepping into this generation, PlayStation are now scrabbling ways of getting access to the last generation, which is not a bad thing. They are doing the right things a little bit later on, but obviously Xbox have been doing this better and are much more advanced. But that maybe could be a change of things to come. The fact that we can potentially use the PSP Go, use the DualShock 3 controllers and things like that, with PS5s, or at least it opens them up software-wise, which I don't get how that works. Like, emulating hardware? How do you emulate hardware? You can emulate software. For those that don't know what it is, an emulation is basically copying something else. So if you would have a PS3 emulator on your PC. That allows you to play PS3 games. You are emulating the PS3 environment and software to play the games on it. But how do you emulate hardware? How do I emulate the experience of using a DualSense 3 on my PS5 controller? Surely I'd just use my PS5 controller. Or is that
because the tech in the DualShock 3 is obsolete compared to a 5. I mean, if I was going to use the example like I did before with the Golden Abyss Uncharted, your PlayStation 5 your PlayStation 4 controller has a touchpad on it, so they could be able to utilize it that way somehow. But like you say, using they are Bluetooth controllers, aren't they? So theoretically, you should be able to use them on your PlayStation 5. But I'm fairly certain there might be a different frequency, so it doesn't pick them up. Like, I think my PS3 controller can be picked up by my TV downstairs, but it can't get picked up by my PlayStation. Again, bizarre. But
great,
it's
great moves. Nice. Your LG
it's just
TV
one of those
or your
things,
Samsung TV or whatever works with your Sony controller, but your Sony PlayStation does not. Great. Let's go. Go team. I mean, if it is just a case of if it's like I don't get it. So let's jump back into this image. This is the image that's within the article. So it shows you like the PlayStation DualSense 3, the PS3 controller, then the PlayStation Media Remote. I can't remember what that one is. It looks like some sort of air vent. Yes, nice. The PlayStation Air Vent. Nice. PlayStation mouse, iToys and things like that. Like the iToy and the controllers and things like that. Emulators for them to actually work, so if you were to plug them in, kind of makes sense for hardware reasons. But it also does not make sense a little bit, because it's not like people like absolutely adore the PS3 controller or the PlayStation Media Remote. I actually don't know anyone that bought a PS3 Media Remote. I knew some people that had like the dodgy sort of like Mad Catz equivalent PS2 ones, but not PS3.
I had one on my original Xbox.
I mean that had like Xbox Media Center, like XBMC and stuff like that, so you know, it makes sense. And the iToy, like David mentioned, wasn't that for the PS2? It was for the PS2, but they then had, was it iToy 2, which came out on the PS3 or something like that, but you could still use it across gen as far as I believe. And the Move controllers. So if there was software to make it so that you could plug those in, that makes sense. If it's hardware emulation, I'm confused at that. But hopefully we can just dig further in, add 2 and 2 together to make 5. And this is PlayStation going, okay, we want people to be able to play PS3 games on the PS5. And to play PS3 games on the PS5, they may need the full spectrum of PS3 availability. So the PlayStation 3 wasn't just games, it was the Move controllers, it was the iToy, it was using external consoles and things like that. So maybe this is them putting that sort of, like, putting all of those processes in so that people can get the full PS3 feeling, atmosphere. So maybe I could sit there and use my PS3 controller on my PS5 and then transfer my gameplay to my PSP, continue my gameplay there, and then transfer it back to my PS5, like you used to be able to do on the PS3 and stuff like that. Maybe it's that. Maybe it's something and nothing. The thing with this, like, when you get these, like, what's the word I'm looking for? The patent stuff. When you get these patent logs, it's always like taking leaps, trying to assume what could come of this. It might not ever turn into anything.
Yeah.
But if it is PlayStation going, actually, do you know what? We do need a little bit more when it comes to back compat. We haven't really done much. We could do a lot more. And if this is them putting in the groundwork, then that works for me. If they're figuring out how to unlock all of the peripherals and things like that, then maybe we're getting closer to a world where Metal Gear Solid 4 isn't just available on the PS3. Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, there was stuff like Dance Dance Revolution and stuff like on the PlayStation 1, wasn't there? But obviously that went into a PlayStation 1 controller port. It wasn't a USB or anything like that, because obviously the PlayStation didn't have USB. The PlayStation 1 didn't have USBs back then. So maybe there's a case where, do you remember the multi-taps? Like one side of the multi-tap will just be a cord that is a USB at the end, so that you're able to plug in different peripherals into your PlayStation 5 and be able to play Dance Dance Revolution, or there was a football one as well. I can't remember what it was called, but it was literally like a little dome in front of you, and you had to kick over the top of the ball for it to be able to play in the game. I can't remember what it was called, but just stuff like that. Like, it's all shit attached stuff. But if you wanted to be able to play Guitar Hero 2 on your PlayStation 2 with the old PlayStation 2 controller, you've got the ability to be able to do that. There was something recently on the PlayStation 5, or it could have been on the PlayStation 4, that there's... In fact, no, it wasn't. I tell a lie. It was on the Nintendo Switch, where they had Bluetooth audio already in the system, and it was a software update that just unlocked it. And it had been sat there dormant for 4 years.
It was headset, the ability to use Bluetooth headsets, yeah. And they just went, oh, shit, should we turn this on?
So it is possible that you can unlock software stuff to use hardware. It's just whether or not you're able to... It's already input into the software on your console for them just to be able to unlock it. Who knows? Because we don't necessarily know exactly what's in the PlayStation 5 or what it's actually capable yet. We're not far enough into the system's lifespan to be able to give a full investigation as to whatever it's capable of. We usually get that towards the end of the life cycle. But yeah, who knows what's around the corner for any of these consoles, not just PlayStation.
Like, I feel like PlayStation has leaps and bounds to be making here, because whilst they are out in front, they have a lot of catching up to do. They're out in front in terms of finances only, in my opinion, right now. Xbox has the better consumer-focused marketing campaign / video game / content access campaign in Game Pass. Microsoft have the better integration in terms of hardware. They're offering their own extra steps in terms of peripherals. You've got the elite controllers and things like that. Xbox also do things that I can't do, or at least haven't seen immediately available to me, in terms of working with other bits of software. A certain Amazon-owned robot device, I'm not going to name her, but if I ask her to turn on my Xbox console, she will do. I can't do that with my PlayStation. And PlayStation seems to be like, fucking lock it down! Lock it down! Where Xbox is like, how can we make this work better for everyone? How can we get old-school software? How can we get new, modern, smart devices to work with it? Whereas your PlayStation is, how can we just get people to spend more than 70 quid on one game? And it's and that's where the difference is. So it's nice to see PlayStation investigating in this. I do feel like the whole PS5 generation is slow. Like, yeah, let's launch the PlayStation, and then 9 to 12 months later, we'll allow people to put an SSD drive in it. Whereas Xbox was showing people their own SSD drives before they even launched it, kind of thing. Yeah, so
For £900.
Yeah, exactly.
Has the price even come down on those yet?
I think they did at first. I don't know if it was a permanent thing, but they are still extremely expensive. That said, PlayStation's ones aren't pretty cheap. They have come down a bunch, by the way. If anyone is looking to expand their PlayStation hard drives, Prime Day next week, 12th and 13th. No spawn. Although that, in theory, could be spawn. We could set up affiliate tracking links for Amazon stuff. Do you know what? We should fucking do that. We should fucking do that. Buy more things for the giveaways and things like that. Yeah. Okay, let me jump back up. I've read that one from Zag. Exactly the same, but getting them light gun games working is another world. Yeah, exactly. I think getting light gun games, that becomes hardware purchase level stuff, and that's where it becomes different, because you'll have to, I mean, I don't know if this is how it works or whatever. Obviously, you can't just expect everyone to get CRT, so you'll need to find something that either sits over your screen or is like a fucking little camera projector thing that points like a light field down so that it can pick up. I don't know how it
achieved
works.
with the Wii. It was achieved with the Nintendo Switch as well, with the guy with the nearly called it a gyro control. Then the gyro controls, like, it was achieved with the Wii using a light bar. So again, if PlayStation really wanted to bring back Die Hard Arcade for you to be able to use your controller with or your light gun, I mean, I'd be all in for that. I know Jamie Hughes would be as well. He's a fucking massive Die Hard Arcade fan. So yeah, having a little light bar on top, that'd be great.
I don't see that happening, because that's where it's like, okay, we are building out a niche market with the hope of growing it into something. To invest into hardware, I don't see them doing that. The full hardware distribution. I mean, PlayStation doesn't have its own esports official controllers from their own sales. They had like the Razer Raiju and the Nakon Revolution. They got Razer and Nakon to make them esports controllers, whereas Xbox invested in their own hardware. PlayStation don't really do that beyond VR and wand stuff like that. They don't go, oh, here's something else. Xbox are going, yeah, here's an accessibility controller. Here's whatever. So I can't see PlayStation doing that. So I don't think that would happen. I think they will only go with, we can build that into PSVR maybe down the line. You heard it here. Bibby admitting Xbox is greater than PlayStation. Nice. Light guns don't work on LED TVs, do they? No. Bibby, Big Bib Cam is sexual. It is. We are talking about you ripping Michael Owen's one. JMK and I had the same train of thought. We would all rip you if you played it on stream. Nice. Nietzsche after see Michael Owen. Jesus fucking Christ. Zag says, I own a copy of all my emulated copies. I just can't find them in the house right this second, Kappa. No comment. You cannot. Nietzsche. Oh, nice. Says Neil. Alright, you can keep all your excellent first-party single-player games. Who needs them when you've got 20 to 30-year-old games? See, that's the thing, though. It's funny how Tito is a massive Xbox fanboy. He's not. He plays on Xbox, but he's still there ripping his own console. Just like we're massive PlayStation fanboys. I mean, we're not, but we just play on PlayStation consoles and we rip our own consoles. It's nice to see that we're always there to defecate. That's the right word, right? Oh wait, no, that means shit. Oh no,
sharing our own content. There we go.
Well, I suppose self-defecate actually is the right phrase. But believe it or not, the old CRTs were HD capable. We had 720p HD in the 80s on satellite TV. Well, there you go. I was right. The iToy is a PS2 device. I did say that one. It was. I had the PS. Okay. We found him. We found the one and only person that bought a PS3 media remote. It was Zag, and he still has it. In fact, there you
Fantastic.
go.
Links in the Discord if you do, because I will firm handshakes. If you're not already in our Discord, please join it.
My reasoning being, I bought the PS3 as a Blu-ray player, not to play games, essentially. Now, that makes sense. A lot of people did that because it was like, do I buy a PS3 for 500 quid or whatever it was, or a Blu-ray player at £1,000? And it was the same thing with the PS2s and DVD players kind of thing. So, I mean, GG's Sony. Well played. Or
I remember getting the Bouncer and Three Kings on DVD with my PlayStation 2.
Back in
Do you remember
day.
Three Kings?
Yeah, was that
Three Kings was a great film.
Was that George Clooney?
Yeah, Mark Wahlberg and Ice Cube.
Yeah.
Fantastic film.
I've never actually seen it. I do remember it, but I've never actually seen it. It's one of those that I'll watch that and then just never did kind of thing. But yeah, fun story. There you go. Nice. Yeah, that's the thing though. Having it bundled in is the reason why PlayStation made ground back up on the Xbox 360, because Xbox 360 had that generation. They won that generation, and they still did. But the reason the PS4 won was because of the traction the PS3 had, and also Xbox shooting themselves in the foot with TV. But Xbox was like, do you want to watch HD DVDs? I mean, it sounds like some sort of, like, you've got a disease. I've got HD DVD. Oh, no. Whereas the PlayStation was Blu-ray. I mean, stick Ray in it. It sounds badass. So,
The
and
HD DVD lasted like 2 years, did it?
Something
Like
like
it just
that.
got superseded so fast.
It was
And on the
because you had
Xbox,
to
it was so
buy.
expensive as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, you had to buy the external HD DVD
Yeah.
drive, whereas PlayStation was like, yeah, just pop it in, which is
Yeah, it's so easy.
which is quite funny now, because then you fast forward 2 generations later, and Xbox is like, you want to play your old games? Yeah, just pop it in, crack it on. And PlayStation's like, no, you need to buy the external PS2 drives or whatever. I mean, there isn't an external PS2 drive, but it's the sentiment is what I'm saying. Xbox realized, oh, fuck, let's make it all compatible from within the box. Or actually, do you know what? You don't even need the box. Just do it through the cloud. Whereas PlayStation, no. Where do we get to? Emulating games is a bit like MP3. You can listen to them, but you need to own the single album. Correct. New games? Nah, let's just replay all of our old games. Tito says, I'm Soldier Boy. I own them all. Funny. Any arcade I go into, I hammer the light gun games. See, I do until, like, you get that one that's just kaput, and then I just think, oh, fuck it, not even bother now then. Like, when we went to Arcade Club, there was one game that played perfectly, and it was like every 10th game it'd just brain fart, and it'd be like, you'd shoot there and you'd see the light dot like up in the top corner of the screen, and pew pew. It's like, nope, that's not it. But you are about 60 years old, so it's fine.
Yeah.
David says, I have a PS3 media remote as well. Woo! Okay, pics in the Discord. Come on, get him in. I even had the PS2 media remote. All right, settle down. See, look, lots of people have the media remote. Just needed someone to come out first. Wait, what? You guys, we appreciate what you're doing for society, making it comfortable for people to share these feelings that you've been hiding, keeping to yourself for a long period of time. Let's go, progressive. Blu-ray won because of the porn industry. Let's be honest. To be fair, the porn industry wins quite a lot of things, but no, it probably was partially because of the porn. But you could just buy one disc of porn and plop it into your PlayStation. You didn't need to buy one HD DVD disc and stick that in a 250 quid external hard drive kind of thing to plug it in. So, but yeah, porn is definitely a good way of winning. Fun fact, we always throw this fact out. Did you know about 70% of Pornhub's viewership, this may not be a fact right now, but this was a fact back in the day, 70% of Pornhub's viewership came from PS4 consoles. At one point in time, PS4 accounted for 70% of all visits to Pornhub. Imagine that. Imagine being that hard done to be in the opposite word. Imagine being that hard up that you have to fucking watch porn on a PS4. Whoa. God damn.
It's a rule of thumb, Graham. Like, if you go around to someone's house,
it's a rule of
take your
thumb
own
of 4 fingers,
controller.
mate.
Yeah. Take your own controller and never touch anybody else's phone. You never know what they've been doing with it.
Also, I just want to shout out that fact, by the way. I say it's a fact. I am assuming it's a fact because I'm taking it at face value. I've never actually researched that fact, but Shogun Ash Live on Twitch did drop that nugget into our chat once, and I believed him ever since. So he could have absolutely trolled me for 3 years. I don't give a shit. It's fine. I'm treating it like the truth. And Boris Johnson in it. It's fine. My mate said so. So nice. HDD meant there was a traceable record of your porn preference. Ooh, fuck this shit, I'm out. I'm going to play my incognito mode PlayStation instead. Okay, on that bombshell, we've been talking about the story for quite a little bit of time. We'll pick up the pace now and jump on to some other stories. The next story is a revisit of something that Bibby spoke about a couple of weeks back. Let me jump into the comments first. Porn Station 4 says Lake. Touche. Zach says, don't know if you remember, but at the start of the pandemic, some families were using an Xbox/PlayStation to log into their Zoom calls and things. Gaming paid off in the end. Exactly. That's what it is. PlayStation hooking up the players. For the players, for the families, for the pandemic. Nice. Next story, though. How do we say this? Is it Oisin? Is that how you pronounce it? Oisin? Is it Oisin?
Yeah.
Because you've got someone who's called their kid Ush or something like that.
Yeah. It's called Oisin. Yeah, but we call him Ush for short. But yeah, it's it's a very strange way of obviously spelling it. It's not saying it's the wrong way, but yeah, it's very different how it's pronounced, how it's spelt. Like you'd never guess that it was the same thing, but yeah, it is Ush, yeah.
Well, Oisin, and
Very
I'm
Irish.
absolutely, if I've not murdered your first name, I'm going to also now murder your surname. Kuhnke? Let's call you OK. Nice. At VG247 says, 2 Fallout London mod developers have been offered jobs at Bethesda. Only one of the modders accepted a job, while the other will stay on to finish the project. So Bethesda has offered jobs to 2 developers that have been working on the incredibly impressive looking Fallout London mod. Earlier this week, June the 30th, the Fallout London Twitter account had some news to share regarding the Fallout mod. Specifically, that one of the developers working on the mod, Ryan Johnson, was leaving the team to go work at Bethesda as an associate level designer. Johnson had served as the lead technical advisor on the mod, where he gave advice, as the name suggests, to the team's level designers. The announcement noted that the Fallout London team had known about the move for a while, so Johnson has apparently prepared for some design documentation to help the rest of the team progress without any problems. Johnson wasn't only the one to be offered a job, though, as project lead Dean Carter had also been offered a job at Bethesda, specifically at UK-based studio Double 11, to help work on Fallout 76. However, Carter didn't opt for the same path as Johnson and apparently declined the offer, instead wanting to continue working on Fallout London. Quote, "It's worth remembering that many people try and use large-scale mod projects like this for pure CV padding and routes into the industry," notes the announcement post. "But some people, like Dean Carter, do it truly for the community, for the team, for you." End quote. Which almost feels like a little bit of a slap to Ryan Johnson, who's just yeeted himself into a job. Some people do it for progression, but not Dean. No. But there you go. So the mod in question, which received a lengthy gameplay trailer back in May, is described as a DLC-sized mod and is looking incredibly impressive so far. The main series has only ever been set in the US, but this mod brings us to London and comes complete with some original voice lines. And in line with the past Fallout games, there are even a couple of celebrity guests at the start of the game. On this occasion, 2 classic Doctor Who actors, Sylvester McCoy and Colin Baker. While a release date hasn't been set yet, Fallout London will probably be out before the officially confirmed but not started Fallout 5. Okay, babe. Fallout London looks pretty short.
Yep. It does.
So good that some of the development team working on that mod have been offered jobs. One taking it, one not. What are your thoughts?
Couple of things. Massive props to the team over there that are looking at after this mod on Fallout London. Bethesda obviously haven't shut the project down because they've just hired people from it. Like they could have just gone, do you know what? Don't bother, lads. Like we'll copyright this. You won't be able to release it. They've kind of just gone, okay, you guys over there, you're doing great shit. Come over here, and you can continue to do that work. But it also makes me think that Fallout are going to be creating a post-apocalyptic London game and just taking what these guys have done and then trying to implement it into their own game, because they've obviously got so much knowledge and map knowledge of this particular area for them to be able to just transition this from the modded version of the game or the fan-made version of the game to what Bethesda could actually be putting out there. So, yeah, it's massive props to these guys who have clearly done a fantastic job and getting their work sought after by Bethesda. That's like the biggest form of flattery, no?
Yeah, absolutely. I do agree with the article, though. This is very much you either do it because you love the project or you do it because you need a portfolio piece. And I can effectively vouch for that as an approach to getting into video gaming. So I had a degree in media journalism, radio journalism production, and getting a job in anything with that is pretty difficult because, oh great, you're a journalist, which means you've not really qualified in anything, are you, really, to be fair? So I was like, okay, well, I'd like to do new media production / journalism if possible. I need some experience, which is basically I have to work for free for any chance of getting a job that's going to pay me to do it. So I did that. I started doing volunteer work in the video games industry, doing games journalism for a few different outlets. One of them was PezFan, which was the Pez community site, which that then developed to where I am today. PezFan was run by Jelly Media, and I'm now head of social media and community management at Jelly Media because I did my portfolio piece working within a community that got me a job further down the line, and similar sort of path for Bibby. Bibby, for those that know, was basically the big dog at Pez Universe. Don't listen to the Midnight Kid. Don't listen to what True Brits or any of these guys that none of the pretenders out there like that. Wezza. Yeah, Bibby was Pez Universe. God damn it, no. So yeah, no.
Pez Uni. No, I genuinely wasn't. It was a collective team effort. But yeah,
that's not what you said when we have a conversation about it off stream.
No, it's not. It wasn't in my interview either. What do you do? Well, I'll have a look at the Twitter account, boys. No, nothing like that. It was a collective team effort. But like you say though, you cut your teeth doing this sort of stuff, and then you can see where it takes you from there. Creating tournaments for Pez Universe, creating tournaments in Pro Evo. Like it's how you cut your teeth. Like, as a journalist, as a DJ, you start off doing DJing in a pub like Mr. Graham does. Not saying he's Calvin Harris, but you know what
Calvin
I mean.
Harris wishes, big old. Yeah. These guys have used their options to not only improve their experience with a video game, but improve their infamy within a community around a video game. And if that didn't lead to a job at the end of it, it leads to a personal sort of satisfaction. It will always lead to a portfolio piece, but seeing that picked up by the actual development teams that are working on those games is absolute goals for people that want to do that sort of stuff, because that's how you get yourself picked up and integrated into it. I mean, there are all sorts of examples at different levels. The game that I play more than anything, PUBG, was created by PlayerUnknown, which was some Irish guy that was living in South America that didn't really know how to develop, but managed to develop Arma 3 mods, which then led to Battle Royale, which then led to multiple different steps before working with Bluehole, now Crafton, to make PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, because it was a portfolio piece that he was doing for a little bit of fun, which then started to pay some money, which then started paying his bills, which then was the only thing that he did, which is now made him the head of a full studio, PlayerUnknown's Productions. That's what can come of this. So it's nice to see that. It is interesting that there is the two contrasting elements within it, though. You've got Ryan Johnson, who has gone, yep, I would like a job from this. This is what I've kind of been setting myself up for. I would love to go into having the ability to impact on larger projects going forward. But then you've got Dean Carter, who's gone, appreciate the offer. I don't want to do that. I was doing this for fun. I want to see this project through. I mean, I would be interested to see if Dean Carter's gone, okay, just give me 6 months, come back, and I'll finish this project, and then I absolutely would love a full-time salary, please. Or whether Dean Carter's gone, yeah, but do I really want to be like a mid-level developer? If you come back to me with a bigger salary and put me in as like studio lead or something like that, then yeah, baby. But it's cool. Either way, it's good from both elements. You've got people that are being respected and noticed, and I love those sort of stories, because there's a lot of attitudes to modding in the industry. It's just like, stop it, we can't make money from this, or you potentially could stop us making money. Whereas this is actually, do you know what, we appreciate your creativity and you can help the community going forward, so please join us, take a seat on the table. Love those sort of stories, rags to riches sort of thing. Yes, please.
Yeah.
The only downsides is that if Dean Carter had have gone with Ryan Johnson, then that does damage the mod. So it's almost like paying them off to stop making it. You take two of the teams away and go, do you want to make Fallout 77? We're going to make that in London. Do you want? Yeah, nice. Just stop the thing you're modding, though, because you can't do it, because you're now contract with us. You can't work on something else. Could be that. Cynics could be like, well, they're just buying it out. It's just a forced takeover, make the business collapse by buying it out kind of thing. It could have been that if you're looking at it from another way. But for me, I'll look at the success side of the story. I'm hoping that's all that came of it. Nice. Tito is sitting quietly with his Xbox. No comment. I'll upload a pic of my PS Remote when my Bluetooth driver's finished setting up on my laptop. I've just done a fresh reinstall, so I'm not fully up and running yet. Sent the pic. It's in general chat. I will check it out after the show. I would put it on now, but it means we have to take Bibby's face off stream, and he gets aggressive. He's, Mr. Big Bib. Big. Nice. Okay, next story. Jordan Midler at VGC says EA's new Seattle studio is hiring for the next Battlefield single-player campaign. So from one story of hiring to another, this one says the studio features Halo co-founder Marcus Leto as a game director. Interesting. A new EA studio. So EA is hiring developers to join its new Seattle-based studio in order to work on a future Battlefield single-player campaign. According to the job listing, the studio is looking to build, quote, rich, exciting stories with memorable characters and powerful experiences, all in the Battlefield universe, end quote. The ad, which seeks a design director to helm the single-player portion of the series, would, quote, orchestrate the mission design, narrative, game mechanics, and systems to create the highest quality experience possible, end quote. This suggests that future entries in the Battlefield series, which EA is understood to be in this early stages of development on, could once again feature a full single-player campaign. I mean, it's interesting because the last game, Battlefield 2042, didn't have a single-player campaign or a really good multiplayer campaign either. Nice. EA's new studio, which it formed last year, already boasts Marcus Leto, who created the Halo franchise at Bungie and performed both art director and creative director roles as a game director. The studio is EA's second in the area, alongside another new studio formed by former Monolith Productions head Kevin Stevens. The studio is expected to focus on the development of open-world action-adventure games. DICE isn't stepping away from the series, its new general manager reaffirmed recently. Rebecca Kutaz, who joined the company last year, told GamesIndustry.biz that the studio has no time to pursue non-Battlefield projects as it looks to establish itself as a leading developer in the FPS market. Quotes, we are only focusing on Battlefield 2042, she told GI. There is no time for anything else, and this is what we want to do. In 3 years, we want to be the first-person shooter powerhouse that DICE deserves to be, and that is what we're going for. I'll stop there. We don't need to do a recap. We know how bad Battlefield and stuff is. Interesting. I mean, there's a couple of bits. Obviously, the main crux of the story is talking about the new Seattle studio. The interesting bit at the end, though, is that DICE want to aim to be the FPS powerhouse, which that shows how far the mighty have fallen, because you go back a few years and DICE were the FPS powerhouse. Before we were getting like Frostbite 2.0 and things like that, it was like, oh, DICE with their Frostbite engine, and oh my god, it's a fucking Battlefield Bad Company. And then now it's like, oh, no DICE. God damn. But anyway, DICE want to be good. EA clearly want Battlefield to be good. A new Seattle studio is hiring for people to work on the next Battlefield single-player campaign. What are your thoughts, Pip?
As much as this news is joyful to my ears, I don't know if this is the kind of thing that will bring them back in to the fold as a what I'm trying to say is single player, as much as I love single player games, I much prefer them over multiplayer games. Is that the kind of thing that they will be praised for? Because every time you hear of something from Battlefield now, it's about how lackluster the multiplayer section is. And that's because most people only want to play multiplayer games nowadays. As per the EA tweet that went out the other day, where they're criticizing single player games. Like, they know full well that their market is in the multiplayer section. So if they was to release, they could release an absolute world-class single-player experience, and it will be so niche, and the minority will enjoy it so much that it still probably won't make gaming headlines. Like, it'll be fantastic for us who still play single-player games, but the multiplayer probably outweighs them 6 or 7 to 1 easily. So I don't know what this will do to their reputation by creating this new single player game. Again, it's fantastic for someone like me who loves playing the single player elements of these FPS games, but what is that gonna do to try and move the needle? I don't think it's gonna do much for them. Concentrating solely on how to make their FPS multiplayer game modes more than playable, because they're not in that position at this moment in time, is probably the easiest and biggest win for them. But they're focusing their attention on the single player stuff, which is great for me. But for the majority, it probably seems like it's a step in the wrong direction. It's a step backwards. So I don't know how they're going to rectify that. I mean, it will probably be, they're hiring a new team to be able to look after that, so it won't be taking the attention away from the people who will be looking after the multiplayer section. So it's probably irrelevant what I'm saying now, but still, this is making headlines now because they're looking at a single player game because they didn't have one for this game. So I'm looking forward to what they're going to be coming up with and what the direction it is that they're going to be taking with it. But I don't think it's necessarily the biggest move that they could be making at this moment in time. For all intents and purposes, I do generally think that they've just given up on 2042 and they're looking ahead. Like, this game is probably unsalvageable. Like, the amount of resources, time, and money it would take to be able to get this in a position, which is far away from Battlefield Bad Company 2 as it could potentially ever be. Battlefield Bad Company 2, you could still play that now and it'll be a fantastic game, whereas this is lackluster in a lot of different ways. So I don't know, Graham. Is this a case of people not knowing where their direction is going? Is this just decisions being made on a whim because they didn't have a single player experience this time? Like, where they're going to go with this, I genuinely have no idea.
I feel Battlefield needs a single player campaign, just like Call of Duty needed a single player campaign, just like Battlefront needed a single player campaign. So many games have tried to drop single player campaigns because, as you mentioned then, multiplayer elements are by far and away where the shelf life is. If you want someone to play your game all the way through the year, then a single player campaign for a lot of people is entirely irrelevant. I can buy Call of Duty, but I'm just going to jump straight into multiplayer on day one, because if I get good day one, I'll get my weapon skins up, I'll get new unlocks, and I'll keep up with the pace, and boom. And then maybe I'll come back to the single player stuff. Other people fly through the single player stuff and then jump into the multiplayer and stick with it. But it's still sticking with the multiplayer usually. Some people do obviously get the game, play through the game, and not bother with the multiplayer. But there is enough people that will go through the single player campaign and so on that it is seen as a negative, it not being there. So them committing to have a single player part of it is pretty cool. But I do want to point out the irony in the chat, as obviously you mentioned it and Iceman's already mentioned it as well. Interesting, considering that the quote, "There are 10, but they only like playing single player games," end quote, tweet that they did a few days ago. So for those that missed that, this is even actually, I noticed it within one of the previous articles. So I'm jumping back to an article that I've actually skipped over by accident. This was going to be our second story, but I've skipped over it, so we'll come back to it in a second. But this one says, "No one likes EA's jokes about single player games. Even EA," which is a recommended article on the side of our next article. And that was off the back of EA put that tweet out, and it was meant to be banter. It was clearly a community manager, because there is memes on the internet about, you only play single player games? And it's that sort of stuff. Multiplayer gamers don't understand single player gamers. Single player gamers don't understand the need to just be a multiplayer gamer, just like PlayStation don't understand Xbox and so on. It's one of those memes that it's actually, there's not really anything to it. But EA's community/social person thought this will be a great tweet. It wasn't a great tweet. The likes
Kind of backfired.
Yeah, the likes of Vince Zampella like responding to it with like the face palm emoji. Oh no. So yeah, it didn't go down very well. But that is obviously banter aside. They did respond saying, "Okay, we'll take the L on this. Single players aren't even a 10; they're 11. Oh, banter, whatever." So I don't read too deep into that. That's not representative of EA as a company and stuff.
It made me laugh anyway.
Yeah,
that's obviously their intention.
It was a social media guy trying to use a meme, but using a meme on a corporate account, not like a Call of Duty account, on an @EA account. So Electronic Arts as a business, which obviously is massive and has lots of people that aren't the biggest fans of it anyway, it was never going to succeed. So he's tried to go in with the Fall Guys banter and just got roasted. So okay, or she, whatever. But it didn't work. So the tweet, I'll happily laugh, point fun, but then ignore it, because working in social media stuff, I can see where someone's tried to come from. They have just forgotten who they are speaking as. That joke elsewhere would have been funny. People would have seen the sarcasm, the irony, whatever. But from EA, it's one person's just tried to be funny, and just it's not worked. It's not worked. Sometimes that happens. You take the L, you move on. It's just social media content. Nobody's going to remember it in 3 months' time. So, yeah, is what it is. However, what people will remember is a game not having single player. And EA have realised that, okay, we had a Battlefield. The fact that game didn't actually have any substance in the multiplayer amplifies the need for a single player. If Battlefield 2042 had some suitable mid to end game content, then I don't think the single player campaign element stuff would be such a big talking point there. But it's a similar sort of conversation that we had a few years back. You go back to Black Ops 70, 2 or whatever the fuck it was, Black Ops 4, I think it was the one that came out with, or is it 4? The one that came out with Blackout. Blackout was a little bit of a shit BR. That Call of Duty didn't really have any long-term content, so they reinvented their world. They brought out Warzone, and Call of Duty has never looked back since because they realized not just single-player stuff, they needed more content, and that's the thing. A good single-player campaign is great. It's not necessarily what multiplayer players want, but it's more content for the gamer. So EA making a new studio that will focus on a single-player campaign, I think that's them going, oh shit, we've clearly pissed off single-player people. We need to put something out to show that we are working on single-player, where in reality, they are just working on more forms of content for the end user, which is a dub. We all get new content. Yeah. Nice. Winner, winner. Single-player dinner. Let's go. I agree. I love the multiplayer games, playing with mates, but the other week when I got a rare moment to sit and play some games, I found I had nothing I could play on my own. I ended up getting Banjo games from Game Pass and playing them. Nice! Halo is something I wanted to get and play again, all of them. Are they all on Game Pass then? I know obviously the new Infinite's on Game Pass, but there's only like 4 people playing that now, right?
I did see something about the co-op aspect of this start. The co-op is getting a trial on July 11th, I think. Is that next week? Next Monday? Yeah, it is next Monday. Apparently, that's when it goes live. So we could potentially have some co-op Halo coming soon.
Nice. Looking forward to that. I've never played Halo apart from some hyper fluorescent green thing on the Xbox One or 360. Can't remember. Wasn't for me. Didn't look back. I've seen it. It looks okay for those that are into that sort of thing. For me, it's just too jumpy, lazy gunny stuff. But the campaign, if I'm playing that alongside someone else, yes, that's for me. So co-op campaign, that will be me actually wetting my Halo whistle live on stream for you guys. Let's go. This will get them talking, says JMK about the Halo, the EA tweet. Technically, it did, but not for the right reasons. Correct. Yeah. When you're a graduate social media guy and you realise you just fucked up. I mean, it could be anyone. We've all had that sort of like different levels of stuff. Thankfully, I've never done anything at that sort of level. But there's things that usually when it fucks up, it doesn't get traction. That's usually the thing. Is usually you will spend a bit of time making a bit of content, an asset, creating a content plan for a series of tweets, whatever it is. And not an inordinate amount of time, but you've put in more time in than you get back. It just doesn't resonate. Either nobody engages with it. It just people see it and go, oh, all right. Or something else happens at the same time, so your content gets overlooked, whatever. Usually it's that, but every now and then some people do have like their balls up moments. I mean, I have had balls up moments. I've mentioned it before, talking about Hideo Kojima, hungover to fuck when I shouldn't be, but not when I shouldn't be hungover, but I shouldn't have been speaking to press, but I had to anyway. I've had my moments in the past, kind of thing. It does happen. I do sympathise. I remember chatting with Holly Bennett, who used to be of PlayStation. Now she was at CD Projekt. Is she at Frontier now? I think she is. And she's like, we've all had those moments. We've all worked in social media or done interviews or said something that wasn't meant to be quoted or read or anticipated how it was, but people take it and run with it in a different direction. And I feel that's kind of what the EA person went at. But obviously, it's EA, which is a faceless corporation. You don't see that person sat behind it going, oh, for fuck's sake, that's not what I meant. Oh, I know there's going to be all sorts of, not disciplinaries, but there's going to be meetings, and then we're going to have all of these. How can we stop this from happening in the future? Sort of like catch-alls going on from that, because I just tried to post a meme that people didn't resonate with. And the worst thing is that will probably make it harder for those content teams to have engaging and fun content now, because people didn't engage in the right way. Corporate will go, okay, we need to stop being engaging. We need to have good social media that people engage with, but without being engaging. And it's like, what? So yeah. Like when that graduate guy working for the BBC put on the scrolling news bar that Man United are rubbish. I saw that the other week. Tell me a battle royale that isn't shit. Okay, let me just go to my sound effects and just hit the radical hype button. There you go. Okay, enough radical heights.
Oh, amazing. Best battle royale ever.
Also PUBG, by the way. Yeah, that was my issue. I got that and was late to the party. My gaming has tapered off with a new relationship this last year and me now moving, but I will be back soon. Yeah, let's go. All Halos are on Game Pass. Nice. I will get them all downloaded and ready for when I have a gaming moment. Let's go. Okay. We will put a pin in that news article. Where did we get to? Skadoosh. Okay, we've talked. Do you know what? We are going to shelve the Phantasy Star Online article. We will finish off with this one. We are Twitch streamers. You guys are Twitch streamers, and this could be a good way for you to look after the health of not just your stream, but yourself as a streamer going forward. Or at least I assume that's the case. I haven't actually read the article, but that's the gist that I get from the title. We'll go through it together. This is written by Morgan Park at PC Gamer. Shout out to Morgan Park, by the way. Morgan Park is usually the person that brings us our Free Game Friday stuff, and did on Friday. But this time, this site
What was it?
I can't remember.
I wasn't here.
It was a thing, a game.
Okay,
great.
Fair.
Yes. There was actually, I can't remember what it was, but I think it's not just the fact that it wasn't a game that didn't particularly resonate with me. It was also the fact that we had another article looking at Prime's free game stuff as well, so it was kind of like too much. But Twitch streamers may soon be able to share ban lists with other channels, a possible next step for chat moderation. So in the never-ending fight to make chat tolerable, just ban Iceman and Tito if that's the case. If that's what you want.
We've got a list.
Twitch is testing a new safety tool that will warn streamers and mods when a user has been banned in other channels. We caught a glimpse of the new vetting tool during a demo presentation of Guest Star, a new feature that lets users appear on streams as a video guest with the approval of the streamer. As shared by Zach Bussey on Twitter, before a user is approved to be a guest star, mods can see if they've been flagged by Twitch as a suspicious user or a serial harasser. This apparently reflects information already surfaced by Twitch, but the shared ban tag appears to be new. Twitch did not go into detail about it, but the tag suggests that it'll be possible to share a list of your channel's user bans with other streamers. While a shared ban list does seem like a natural step for moderation, it's unclear if this feature will exist outside of the new guest star interface or how the ban information will be shared. Will Twitch automatically flag accounts banned on channels similar to yours, or do ban lists have to be manually shared between cooperating streamers? It's a confusing way to debut a tool that could have a big effect on Twitch chat going forward. During the guest star demo, senior product manager Chris Miles brought up the feature but glossed over it as if it wasn't entirely new. We've reached out to Twitch for clarification on the shared ban tag, and we'll update this story if we learn more. See, I'm interested in both bits there. I want to know how guest star works. So we can loop, say we were streaming, what do we loop Tito into the stream from his stream, and then people can click through? Because that sounds like squad streaming, but different. So I'm interested in that. But the sharing ban lists, that is interesting. I mean, if it's already there, if they're already testing it, if it's already suitably tested, why are we not rolling this stuff out there? If he's glossing over it like it's already been there, done that sort of stuff, why are we not throwing this shit out? I would like to see more on that sort of stuff, because I feel like there is stuff in there, but why does it only exist on a channel by channel basis? We know someone's a dickhead. We have information linked to their account and IP and stuff that they are a dickhead. They are ban evaders and stuff like that. They are banned in our chat and have come back with another account. Why does that stuff not get shown to other people? Because just because you're an arsehole in one house, you go to a house next door doesn't mean you stop being an asshole. So if you want to be a cunt in society, then surely you should have it shown to society that you are a cunt. It is what it is. But not my thoughts. What do you think of it?
Yeah, I mean, if we was just solely PUBG streamers or just solely eFootball streamers or just one particular game, and you was in a community of, I don't know, another 70, 80 other streamers, and there is just certain names that pop up in all of these streams that you just think, do you know what? Bit of a knob. We'll get them out of here, kind of thing. But one that people can share these lists between each other. I don't know how it'll work between different communities, because someone might really dislike a particular game, but if you play other games as well, that kind of takes them out of that, because you're a variety streamer. You're playing Escape from Tarkov, you're playing eFootball, you're playing Football Manager, you're playing NHL 97, you're playing Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're a variety streamer, it might not potentially work, because they might just really dislike you playing one game, and they might really have beef with one particular game, but you play other ones, so it's kind of irrelevant. But if you are in a community where you are solely just streaming one game, then this might this might be worthwhile, but I'm trying to think of any kind of scenario where this would actually work for us. I don't think it would, because we play so many different games. We have a very, very strong core ICU community, and every time someone has come in and a bit skeptical, the mods are always on hand to go, do you know what, mate? You have a chill out, or we'll get you out of here. Like, it's very rare that we have to do anything, because our mods are so in line with us and the way that we are and the people that are around us, that we don't really have to worry about that. But I imagine if you are a channel that has 2,000 people watching you daily, and then you alongside other people who have 1,000, 1,500 people, that might be worthwhile. But for us, I can't see it working for us perfectly, if you get what I mean.
Yeah. I mean, there is obviously different ways for different channels to operate and stuff, and I hate using the phrase thick-skinned, because it's a phrase that people just throw out and expect people to have. Like, you should have a thick skin if you want to be a streamer. Why should I have a thick skin? Because I want to speak to people and put myself open to conversation. I should therefore accept that I should be open to abuse. That should never be something I ever have to accept. I shouldn't have to have a thick skin for that. But it does help, and we do have thick skin generally, to the point where we know that people coming in aren't necessarily being cunts. I mean, what are they going to do? Pick up on the fact that, oh, look at that guy. He's old. He's stupid. He's got a northern voice. He's whatever. Oh, great.
He's pale. He's ginger. He's round.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
you can.
I haven't heard before.
You can see. Great. Your eyes work. You can confirm what I also see in the mirror. That's wonderful. We don't take any of that stuff personal, because it's just dickheads on the internet. But other people could do. Just because we don't doesn't necessarily mean it's acceptable or whatever. And we don't tend to instantly ban people. We usually let people look stupid. So if someone comes in, I will usually go on then, what are you saying? Keep going.
Yeah, do your best.
Yeah, and usually they crumble. They collapse as soon as they realise they've been given the microphone. They want to snatch the microphone, but you give it to them, they capitulate. That said, our mods, like Tito, has banned people whilst we've been in the middle of that in the past, either because he was worried about them going after us, or because the content was going off, or whatever. And that's good mod team. Having your mod team having your back, even when you don't really need it, is a good thing. So having the ability to have other people's backs preemptively is a good thing. Being able to say, okay, here's the people that I've banned: West, Timeless, Neil, whoever else is going to be streaming. Have a look. Not naming those are the people that I've banned. That's what I'm
about to say. Get West out of it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, 100% yeet that guy. But no, this is me. This is me talking to them, saying these is who I've banned, so they can see my list and go, okay.
Yeah.
The only considerations I have is that, like, let's say it was Timeless, because his name's in the chat there now. Let's say I had banned Timeless. What if I was joking and banned Timeless for... Oh, he is inevitable. Oh, no, shit. That's a nade. Move away. Kaboom. Nice. Welcome in, Timeless. No, but what if...
Hey, Timeless.
What if I ban Timeless for a joke? Some channels have it so use 1 million sprinkles, get banned for a day. Does that stop me then from getting into other channels because other people can see that I'm banned from ice cream uploads or something like that? So, or what if, and this, heaven forbid, someone acknowledges that some streamers are toxic people. What if some streamers go, fuck you. You challenged me on something that I believe that was clearly... air quotes, wrong. Banned. Does that then stop me from getting into other channels because someone was too quick with the ban hammer? So it does sound like a good function, but we need the caveats. We need to know the who's and the what's and the whys and the hows. If Ice Cream Uploads bans Timeless from the chat and Timeless wants to go into Ham's stream, does Ham get to see my reasoning and also his reasoning for it? Like, yeah, he's a cunt, he's a dickhead, get him out your chat, but Timeless can go, actually, that guy's an absolute whopper, honestly. So, like, can Ham see both sides of the story? So, I am very much open to this. I love the idea that I can preemptively look after my friends. If I can go, okay, sure, Timeless, Ham, West, Neil, Nietzsche, whoever, here is the list of people that you want to keep your eyes out for. And they can just go like, okay, import XLS or CSV or whatever it is, and it'll just, or whether it's just done on the back end side of Twitch or whatever. I would love that sort of stuff, so I can do that. That said, I need to know how and why and what before it happens. Toxic streamers, Hamish, Kappa, exactly. Didn't want to say it, but God, I mean, do you know what? Absolute toxicity there. Right? I mean, I was watching Timeless streaming this morning. He'd been up since the crack of dawn, grinding on Twitch. Not like that. I mean, he has done that before, but that wasn't today's stream. And Ham had the nerve to go live and take 2 of his mods and play with them in a squad. Imagine that. Toxic, shocking, Timeless. I saw you. I saw you talking about it, and you held together quite well, despite Ham there taking your mod team away from you, actively trying to punish you. But you did well. I appreciate the fact that you still continued to soldier. Mate, I'd be screwed if that was the case with ban lists. Exactly. Everyone spare a moment to think about Drew. Iron Drew. That guy's he's not going into any channels anyway. God damn it, Drew. Who's Dawn? Who's Dawn? What? Tito's coming in with some sort of dad joke set up. I don't know what it was. He's responding to something that I've said. I don't know. Toxic streamers, there's someone I would mention, but they're not on Twitch anymore. Who is his name? Doctor. Dips, respect. That guy? Back to back. Stole him. He did. Up since the crack of dawn. Ah, there we go. See, Tito, instantly, he's the first person that will turn his nose up when you make a dad joke. But there we go. Here he is explaining his dad jokes. Okay. Drew might as well start watching YouTube. Exactly. Sorry, Drew. You're out of here. I was joking. I need to text him to make sure he knows I'm a joke. Nah, you don't. He knows. He gets it. It's banter. It's Twitch. We understand. It's fine. We understand. I get it. I'm only mentioning it now because I get it. We all get it. It's fine. He probably didn't even notice it unless he was in the chat kind of thingy, but it's fine. I hope it's not Mum's friend Dawn. But you never know. There's probably a few more Dawns in the world than Mum's friend David. Someone that we've not seen for 30 odd years. But yeah, okay. Do you know, on that bombshell though, we are going to finish up. Twitch does allow you to share ban lists potentially with other channels. I say it does. It could do. This is something that has shown up in chat moderation examples for something else. That something else was guest starring. I am intrigued about that because I feel like Twitch doesn't have channel sharing / growth opportunities for other people. Like Ice Cream Uploads going live with a scoop. If we could loop in another channel and help with their growth, or vice versa, someone could help us with our growth, that would be a great stuff. Essentially, squad streaming, which exists for helping channels to grow, but is locked behind the partner status, is bizarre. So if guest starring is that, but available to everyone, nice. If that just gets put behind the partner status, once again, bizarre. It's kind of irrelevant. People don't really use it because only partners and partners can do it. If you watch lyrics and summits and shrouds, then yeah, great, they can do it at that level, but none of them ever use it anyway. So the people that would actually use that stuff for sharing their channels to increase the size of their channels are the smaller guys that can't actually use it anyway. So yeah, we'll see how it all works. We don't have the details now, but once they are revealed, as always, we will keep you up to date, and we will do that every day for the rest of the week at 10 a.m.-ish with the scoops. This has been the first episode, but we are done for now. We are going to disappear. Stick around. We are going to drop a raid on one of our friends. We've name-checked Nacho. We've name-checked Hamish. No doubt they are both live right now. Maybe we're dropping on one of those. Maybe we're dropping on someone else. We'll figure that out. But before we do, Mr. Bib, is there anything you'd like to add?
Yes, again, thank you very much to each and every one of you that have joined us for today's episode of the Scoop. But if you want to help shape the remaining 4 shows this week, there is 2 ways that you can do so. First of all, find us on social media. It is at Ice Cream Uploads across all major social media platforms, or get involved with our Discord. If you're watching this on any of our on-demand services, go into the description below. All the links that you require will be listed there for you. But all we need from you is the URL plus your thoughts and impressions. We will then give you our thoughts and impressions on the very next show, which will be at what time tomorrow, Mr. Graham Day?
It'll be at 10 a.m.
Ish.
10 a.m.-ish. We do go live at 10 a.m.-ish. I will not be in the studio tomorrow alongside Bib, so it will be kind of a split location scoop, essentially the same as today's, because COVID reasons. We don't have COVID, but everyone else in Chloe's school does, so she's back at home doing homeschooling today. So I will be live from home alongside Bib, who will be live in the studio bringing you all the fun times. Let's go, baby. Latest fellas, welcome back. Bib says, Tito, Swoosh says, my Twitch account is linked to the old Pez World account, so whenever I go live, they go live. Is that what you mean? Oh, as in like on Twitch? Do you mean no on Twitter? So the old Pez World account on Twitter? Do you mean? So like, do you put out a?
Oh, directly from your console? Because I remember you used to have to link them, didn't you? Because my Pez Universe one might even still be linked to my PlayStation 4. That's how long I haven't gone live directly on my PlayStation 4.
Yeah. I get it. I said it in his channel too. No, he'll get it. He'll understand. And if he doesn't, then it serves him right for stealing your mods. Have that big ham. Yeah, what, baby? COVID. Fuck COVID, says Nietzsche. Do you have the lurgy then, Nietzsche? Because Nietzsche had the nerve to go concerting last week and then got rough. Tito had the nerve to go on holiday with family members who got rough. But Tito's family members have yeeted it off into the sun. So both Twitch accounts. Oh, interesting. So how do you make a Twitch account go live with that's I don't know. I do have the
just falling off of
that. Nietzsche does have the 2 lines of doom. No. Do you know what? You've got until Wednesday to get rid of it because, chasing grapes with mates and stuff like that, But you know, I mean, look after yourself first. Ish. No, chicken soup and all that stuff. We finally got normality in the hospital. I work in 1 week later, back to restrictions and PPE. Same, my sister works for the NHS too. Same. For now, though, we are going to disappear. We'll jump into this conversation in the Discord. ! Discord if you want. Oh, replace shot with COVID. Could everyone stop getting COVID? Yeah. There you go. Okay, conversation in the Discord. For now, though, we are going to drop a raid. Big Ham is not on, but we did name check Nacho, so maybe let's go drop in on Nacho. Say hello to the Shotgun Master. Have yourselves a beautiful day, though. We will see you 10 a.m.-ish tomorrow. Until then, stay frosty.
Stay frosty.